good in the race. The qualification races in Genk here. I think he was a winner there, wasn't he, in the heats as well, Philip Morin. He didn't get on the podium overall, but yes, he took from his races, he managed to take 2 wins in the heats, Philip Morin. So he's well up there in the championship. He's in 5th place overall. He finished just off the podium at Genk, and he's going to be a strong challenger to Harry Webb. And Mark Ferenc hopefully is there in kart 282 on the second row. Jack Weprin qualified well in the dry yesterday, but the American has gone backwards so far in the wet today.
Chris, just before you start race commentary, yeah, it's a good thing that we're seeing Mark Ferenc out there, but this morning Amir Hassan from the United Arab Emirates did not come out for either of his heats this morning. He does not come out in this one. He was actually scheduled to be back on row 15, so it's not a front runner, but sadly the UAE driver Amir Hassan a non-starter again.
Okay, so I don't suppose he would have had much wet weather running either, would he, coming from the United Arab Emirates? Well, they don't get too much of the wet stuff coming down from the heavens. Right, so this is the end of their second formation lap. A rolling start, 10-lap heats for seniors, for DD2s. We'll have 7-lap heats for the juniors, which are coming up fairly shortly. And looks like they've been nicely bunched up. Harry Webb and Philip Morin doing a good job of keeping them all fairly tightly packed together, as is their duty to do so. They're being watched by the officials. So the British driver on pole position for Strawberry Racing, Dan Holland Racing driver Philip Morin on the Alonso chassis. The Swedish driver there in the blue and yellow colour scheme, ready for the starts of the race. It's a very good start. No, it's going to be sent round again. We sent round again off that start. Harry Webb was a fair way clear, wasn't he? I'm not sure it was particularly Harry being well ahead. It was the others not keeping up with him. One or two of them have not quite realised yet that it's not been a start. Now they have. Now they've backed up. And the rain is just bouncing off the circuit now. And we're starting to get a lot of surface water on the way out of turn 3 through turn 4. This is the corner, turn 6 coming onto the back straight. And you can see even at low speed, look, a huge amount of spray coming off the karts. Too quick the start was the reason. Thanks, Jill. Jill getting the radio comms from the officials. The start was too quick. That's why it's been disallowed. So, bunched them up pretty nicely coming into the final turn, but they, I think, floored it on the way out of the turn and spread themselves out too much. That was why we had the restart. So, it is pretty bad down there as well, isn't it? In the middle of the lap coming into the hairpin. Look how much surface water there is. They run through that turn. What's that?
Just make 9? One point, Chris, to our good friends tuned in on RGMMC TV. Guys, you're not here with us at Castelletto, but our television pictures do give you the real feel of what it's like. We're telling you and calling it as it is, and your pictures on screen are a pretty accurate assessment of what it's like in reality here.
It has been sunny all week, of course, but come race day, down comes the rain. It is, we've been told all week or the last few days, going to be dry and sunny again tomorrow though, so that'll mix things up again. It has opened things up. It has given opportunities for some that didn't go quite so well in qualifying in the dry yesterday to charge through. Some will have had a big smile on their face when it started raining. They love driving in the wet. They love the challenge of it, driving these karts, dancing them on the edge of adhesion. Others will have been a bit dismayed to find it wet this morning when they woke up. Anyway, looks like we're all ready to try and get this start underway. Second time lucky, hopefully. Looks a bit better bunched up. Harry Webb leads them away. It is a race start. Good start for the pole position driver there. And on the outside is Philip Morin. He took a very wide line in his earlier race, and he does it again, I think, to try and stay out of trouble. There's slightly less surface water on the inside there. So Harry Webb leads the way. Philip Morin is going with him. And then in third place, we've got Avo Talvar. Finally having a good race here, Avo. Third in the championship. He got punted off in the first race. In the second race, he fell back a bit when he was running well in the top 5 and only just about made it through into the top 10. 1 or 2 running wide and on the grass, but surviving the first few corners. They worked their way at the end of the back straight. Look at that wall of spray on your pictures there. If you're at the back of the field, you've got no chance of seeing where you're going. You literally are covered in a shower of water. So huge amounts of spray being thrown up by the treaded tyres as it flicks the surface water up into the face of the following drivers. Jack Weprin, let's see if he can have a better run here. because he really did fall back down by the wayside in his race before lunch in the wet conditions, having enjoyed the dry qualifying yesterday. Different line again from Philip Moran here, coming through the penultimate turn. He gets tight, and now he switches back to the inside. He's on the attack here. Harry Webber's got pressure at the end of this first lap. He still leads the way, but by a reduced margin. Philip Moran is catching him, and Avo Talvar in third place is also catching him. Jack Weprin has had a better lap, is in fourth place, but look at the gap from the top three back to the rest of the field. They're already a couple of seconds clear. Fourth, fifth and sixth all tied together. It's absolutely side by side for fifth and sixth positions. Who's going to come out on top in that one? 279 falls by the wayside there, drops back. That's Luke Varley, who's been charging up the order. He's still going, but he's lost 2 or 3 places, Luke Varley. He's one of these drivers that's come up and gained 12, 13, 14 positions in the races so far. Ava Benes has a good start this time. She got caught out in a first lap shunt earlier on. So Ava Benes is there in the top 5. So it's Webb, Morin, Talvar, the top 3. Then a gap. Then you've got Weprin, Benes, Pozzoli going well again. Jan Jonk. Luke Vardy was in 8th place across the line. I think he's dropped back to 9th or 10th now. Mark Ferenc is out there. He's got the kart working, the team have. And he's in 10th place in the 282 kart. So not a great start, but at least it's running, Ken.
You mentioned Philip Morin at the start. Well, as I speak, that was perhaps not his most judicious choice of entry points, but having said that, it was good enough to earlier on to have got past Harry Webb. And I was going to say, when he was in second place, this is reminiscent of how he raced against Max Verstappen earlier on. And on that occasion, he got past, I think, at about the half race distance past Max Verstappen, got past Harry Webb on row 2, and already putting a little bit of distance between him. Kart number 221.
Jan Jonk had a spin from inside the top 5.
Yeah,
and Trombelli's just had a spin.
He was in 4th place. That's really unlucky. 271 also taking a spin. That's Christian Thorsen, who is a little bit further down the order. But Jan Jonk from 4th place taking a spin. Going to be very disappointed. Well, Philip Morin had 0.6 of a second to the good over Harry Webb at the end of the second lap. Just trying to pick them up on screen. Yes, I do see them there. And Philip... Well, Harry Webb has had what I've described as an exhibition drive in his previous runaway win, but Philip Morin, when he got in front of Max Verstappen in the second half of that race, was untouchable. He comes over the start-finish line now. There you see them in shot. The driver coming towards you is your race leader, Philip Morin, and his margin over Harry Webb, 1 full second, 1.04. But Avo Talvar, although he's a bit detached from Harry Webb, is 5 seconds clear of Kyle Fowley, the Scotsman. So Avo Talvar, if he can crank up the ante a little bit, may be able to put a challenge on Harry Webb, but looking relatively safe on lap 4 of this 10-lap race.
Sam Shippers has made good progress into 8th place. The Dutch driver from 17th on the grid. So the race lead is 1 second now. Philip Morin having got ahead of Harry Webb 2 laps ago. Harry, the pole position man, the 1st and the 4th already though. Second place would be far from a disaster for him. Avo Talvar has had 1 bad race, 1 indifferent race. He's having a good race now in 3rd position. Carl Fowley's had 2 good runs through the field. His best run being, 21st up to 7th place in the earlier race. That was a real attacking drive. And he had another 7th place just before lunch. So Carl Fowley, the Scottish driver, up into 4th place this time. Just to remind you, if you didn't see the action online at Genk at Belgium, Carl is in his first full season of European racing. The Scottish driver comes from Aberdeenshire, and he went brilliantly well in the heats, qualified well for the pre-final, but he was ill, unfortunately. He had to miss the race on the Sunday morning, then recovered enough to go into the grand final, but because he missed the pre-final, which sets the grid for the final, he had to start right at the back, and he came through very well indeed in that race. So Carl Fowley on the charge again here. There's the race leader, Philip Morin, going through your shot. 2nd and 3rd, the gap's coming down perhaps on this lap between Webb and Talvar. Webb was quicker on the previous lap, but Avo Talvar looks like he's got the measure of the British driver this time round. It's nip and tuck. There's not too much between them. Carl Fowley in 4th place. He's quicker than them all, but he's 5 seconds behind them.
Chris, I'm not sure why Luke Varley finds himself in 26th place. You had called in commentary how he dropped from round about 5th to 9th, but down to 26 is a long way. So the former world number 1 at this level, the former champion in this particular class in this series, running in 26th place at the end of lap 4 as Philip Morin sets off on lap 6. So this is the half race distance. 5 laps gone, 5 to go. Let me give you the call over. Philip Morin leads from Harry Webb second, Arvo Talvar third, Kyle Fowley, the Scotsman, 4th. Xavier Pozzoli, a good drive by Zav in 5th place. The second of the Morin boys, Ludwig Morin, 6th. The lady, Ava Bennis, holding on to the 7th place position. Sam Shippers, the Dutchman, 8th. Jan Jonk, the Dane, 9th. And the guy we told you to keep an eye on, Connor Jupp, drives from stone last to top 10 at the half race distance.
It's quite a good battle going on for 5th place between 305 Xavier Pozzoli and right on his tail now 255 Ludwig Morin. They are equal in terms of their lap times, just a few hundredths of a second between their lap times, and as you can see they go through the hairpin, there they go, still running within one and a half kart lengths of each other. The race leader's coming up to some traffic. There is the race leader, the blue and yellow Dan Holland Racing colours. Over the start finish line he goes. That's Philip Morin looking for his 3rd win of the day now. Harry, this is great stuff for him. Philip ahead now of Harry Webb by 2.2 seconds. Arvo Talvar is about 0.8 of a second behind Harry Webb, running in 3rd place rather. Kyle Fowley is quite a long way behind them in 4th. What about this battle for 5th place? About to come through turn 3 and turn 4. It's still Xavier Pozzoli. Still just about 1.5, 2 kart lengths clear of Ludwig Morin. Eva Benez was in the top 5 earlier on. She slipped back a bit, but still doing well, the French driver. She is in 7th place in kart 240. However, she's got Sam Shippers on her case, and Sam has come through the order. And Connor Jupp, who we've already said has had to start all of his races from the back because he's had his exams over the last few days at school and has therefore had to miss qualifying. So because he did that, he had to start at the back for all of his races. He came through. He did get as high as 7th in his second race. He went from the back to 15th in race 1, the back to 12th in the end in race 2, but he was running 7th, got battered about towards the end of the race and was a bit unhappy about that. But Connor is now in kart 266 up to 9th place. So Connor Jupp up to 9th place, having started 31st, Ken.
Yeah, Jan Jonk just behind him in 10th place. That represents a good drive by Jan because he took a spin almost in front of our eyes about 4 laps ago, and so that's definitely a recovery to drive up into the top 10. Sadly, we've got Mark Ferenc, who qualified to start these heats on the second row, had that non-start previously, is out of the top 20 on this one. He is still out of the top 20. He's gone up a place, but he's only 21st. So Mark Ferenc looking hard at how on earth he qualifies from here. Sadly, the story of Luke Varley we don't know, but the end result we know. He went out a couple of laps ago. But at the 3/4 race distance, Philip Morin's lead is just under 2.5 seconds. Harry Webb and Arvo Talvar a bit to race for before that bigger gap to Kyle Fowley 4th and Xavier Pozzoli in 5th place, having a good dice with Ludwig Morin.
So the race leader, they're clipping the curb. He's coming up to lap a back marker. He's about to do that on the run into turn 1. It's the 301 card of Filippo Alaghi that he laps. Filippo started on the 6th row of the grid, qualified well in the dry, not so well in the wet. So he's just been lapped by the race leader. The race leader being Philip Morin, number 206. Second to third, that gap has come down. Harry Webb has been caught by Arvo Talvar. Both of them in the top 3 in the championship. In fact, they're second and third in the championship. They're second and third in the race. And Arvo Talvar, 0.3 of a second quicker on the previous lap. 5 seconds behind them, more or less, is Kyle Fowley in 4th place. And Kyle again coming well up through the field, having not had the best of qualifying in the dry yesterday. Carl this time has come from 22nd on the grid to be in 4th place. What's more impressive is how quickly he did that. He did that within the first few laps, didn't he, Carl Fowley? And if only there wasn't such a big gap to the top 3, he's every bit as quick as the top 3 in terms of his lap times. They're all very similar, actually. The top 4 all lapping within 2 to 3 of a second of each other. So Philip Morin there coming through the penultimate lap. And at the start of the lap, Arvo Talvar was definitely catching Harry Webb, but I think Harry's responded a bit at the end of the lap, hasn't he, Ken?
Yeah, I was just going to say Arvo Talvar did a 68.496 on lap 9, and that was the quickest of everybody. Not quite so quick on lap 8, not quite so quick on lap 9. And once again, Harry Webb is saying, look, this is my race. Harry Webb, this is Philip Morin saying, It's my race. I've done a 68.14. Harry behind me is only at 68.67, and consequently, Maureen will be feeling comfortable on this one. No changes of position in the top 4, but Ludwig Maureen getting himself into 5th place. That race-long duel that he's been having with Zav Pozzoli going in the way of the Swedish driver presently. Zav Pozzoli running 6th in front of Sam Shippers. Connor Jupp up another place to 8th. Really, we can't praise him enough. Jan Jonk 9th and Kenny Vermeulen in 10th place. Cart number 309 going through is one of our back markers, the Canadian Zachary Clement de Mela. But we're peering out the window for cart 206. 206 sees the checkered flag. Philip Maureen wins it. And quite some distance behind, Harry Webb comes home in 2nd place. Arvo Talvar, a good solid drive in 3rd. There is Kyle Fowley's finish in 4th place. And Ludwig Maureen coming home to make it 2 Maureens in the top 5. Zav Pozzoli 6th, Connor Jupp 7th, Sam Shippers 8th, Jan Jonk 9th, and Kenny Vermeulen completing the top 10. The lady from France, Eva Benez, she slipped out of the top 10 and finished 12th. Just looking a little bit further down, I'm afraid it was a big disappointment for Mark Ferenz. He got going, but only got himself up into 21st place. Well, Connor Jupp is the guy that we keep our eye on, and apologies if it sounds as if we're being a little bit myopic, Chris and myself. Not so. We just want to bring you the best of the action, and somebody coming through from 31st into the top 10 on a regular basis is worth alerting you to. Connor Jupp for the 3rd time in a row then, showing that if you're good enough, you can give the guys quarter of a lap start and make something of it.
So there you see the grid coming up already for the next race. To give you, in fact, that's for the previous race, wasn't it, with Moran and Webb? So that's the grid. Ignore that. We've got the result now. The result being actually the same order you got there. Actually, Moran and Webb, the top 2, weren't they? And
at the bottom, Hassan was a non-starter, but Connor Jupp was from last up to 7th, as the grid shows you.
Yep. So
Philip Maureen 1, Harry Webb 2, Arvo Talvar 3.
Philip Maureen then the race winner for Dan Holland Racing. Harry Webb there in 2nd place for Great Britain. Arvo Talvar, the Estonian. Kyle Fowley, the British driver, in 4th place. And Kyle has gone from 21st to 7th, then 21st to 7th, and now 22nd to 4th. A great day so far. And Kyle is with Sarah Dryhurst.
Carl, fantastic race, 22nd to 4th. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. Definitely better than yesterday. Struggled away yesterday, so we've got a bit more pace today.
Now, the rain absolutely started to come down during the start of that event. What was the visibility like there out on the circuit?
Nothing at all. Couldn't see anything.
Literally, I'm stood with Carl now, pushing his car forwards to be weighed, and you're wringing your gloves out.
Yeah, it's soaking.
So a lot of surface water on the track as well?
Yeah, definitely. Puddles everywhere.
Okay, Carl, thanks ever so much. Very well done to you.
Well, dare I say it, Kyle from Aberdeenshire won't be too unfamiliar with a little bit of dodgy weather, but having said that, it's not often he'll race in conditions quite as severe as this, but good to see the Scot going so well. Now, we're taking a break, so guys, we thank you for being online with us. We take a break.